I know we're super close, so we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it and try to see if we can finish it. Everyone and their mother's been eyeing up Crab Souls. Yeah. It looks like a pretty cool indie game, so... Alright, let's finish this. Let's get it done. Hopefully this will be an early morning here.
I can't believe I have to fight in this form. The body of a super weapon created by Mother Sphere.
I gotta warm up here.
But
Yeah.
for him,
The body of a super weapon. That's what we're gonna get used to today. That's what we're gonna get used to, is hearing her say, the body of a super weapon created by Mother Sphere.
this is my
The
battle.
soundtrack is kind of insane during this fight, though.
I can't believe I have to fight in this form. The body of a super weapon created by Mother Sphere. But
God.
for him,
That like backslash that she does is really hard to read. Really hard to read. I gotta let the G Fuel kick in here. The body of a super weapon.
this is my battle. I can't believe I have to fight in this form. The body of a super weapon created by Mother Sphere. But for him,
Jesus Christ. This fight, man. This fight. I'm not warmed up at all either, so I'm still half asleep. I'm trying to wake up here. The pacing of this fight's just kind of insane.
is my battle.
Her opener's the same though, all the time it looks like, so it's not too bad.
I can't believe I have to fight in this form. The body of a super weapon created by Mother Sphere. But for him,
Oh, caught me while I was healing. She's really upset that she has to fight me in this form. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but
this is my battle. I can't believe I have to fight in this form. The body of a super weapon created by Mother Sphere. But for him,
Jesus Christ. I think she mentioned it once or twice, yeah. Yeah, this fight, man, this fight is just like, the soundtrack is almost distracting. Because it's just like, it's so high octane that it's like, listen, I need to focus here.
this is my battle.
But at the same time, like, I'm not going to turn it off
Can't
either.
believe I have to fight in this form. The body of a super weapon created by Mother Sphere. But for him,
Jesus Christ. This fight is very difficult compared to literally everything else in this game.
Is my battle.
Reminds me exactly like the ending of Jedi Fallen Order. And Survivor, really.
I can't believe I have to fight in this form. The body of a super weapon created by Mother Spirit. But for him.
Nice, man. That one is the worst. Oh shoot. Let me see. Let me go ahead and use one of these. Here we go. Here we go. Nice. Oh! Oh, yep, there goes it all. Yep.
You did it, Eve. Well done.
The body of a super weapon.
Why are you hesitating? Because we were comrades? Or because I'm human like you? Except you don't believe we're human. Your mainframe's nerve fibers and exospine have all been severed. So now, you won't be able to fight. You've taken so much from me. In exchange, I'll allow you to witness the end. In that state.
Damn, brutal.
What? What do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? You don't know anything. Kill me. Go ahead and kill me. I wouldn't be your first. Lily, let's go. Eve! Stop right there! Finish this! Eve! Eve!
Oh, shit. Fucking brutal. I mean, she kind of had it coming. Let's be real, chat. She kind of had it coming. Yo, I love Bach. What's up, Chief? Here we go. I feel like there might be one more boss, but I'm not sure.
This is the nest.
The jellies, dude. The jellies.
It looks like
God damn.
this is where all the Naytibas are born.
Although everything looks so natural. It makes me wonder, is this how real life is born after all?
Isn't the elder at the end of the tunnel?
Oh, it's a little baby. We pop the eggs. What the fuck?
This place, it's too quiet, but it's strangely peaceful.
Yeah, it's peaceful. You know, it's you know, the frickin' Naytibas are literally just dying.
It's watching us. From where, I don't know.
They're not even hatching. They're just dying.
see any Naytibas on the road. It's like someone wants this place to remain undisturbed.
Yeah, undisturbed, yet there's a fucking soda machine chilling in the middle of it. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, let's not disturb this place, you know, let's just casually... Oh, I have to... Oh, that would have been nice to have put the weapon core in before I did that boss. Oh, never mind, I guess we're at max. Cybernetic dress. I think I have quite a few dresses that are not crafted yet, right? I don't think it's an issue though, because I have a lot of materials. Don't think it'll be a problem. Not that I'm using like any of these right now, but God, some of these are just so fucking insanely good. Like as far as like the designs themselves. I think that's all of the ones that... Yeah. Alright, surely I have some skill points, right? I have 4.
There's a camp in the nest as well.
Raven probably set it up. I suspect it hasn't been used since she met the Elder, and changed.
Thank goodness it's working.
Yes. I'm also getting the feeling that it's our last camp.
Yeah, I wonder why you would think that. There's an ammo pod here, which means that I'm probably going to be using my gun for this, at least in some fashion. There it is. Holy shit.
I can see it. The end of my journey.
Yep. It's Adam.
Eve. I've been waiting.
It's like I thought. It was you.
Adam. Why is Adam here?
It's Sephiroth. I mean...
I know this is a disappointment. I'm sorry, Eve. Everything that has happened until now, and even before, it began with me. I am the source of it all.
Adam. Or would you prefer I call you Elder? What are you scheming? You pretended to rescue me. Pretended to help me on my mission. All under the guise of helping Zion. What are you really after?
I want atonement. I want forgiveness. I want us to heal. Please know that everything I have done sincerely.
Enough of this nonsense! My comrades, the people of Zion who trusted you. Tell me why they had to die.
Eve, you have every right to be mad. I understand.
Elder Naytiba, you...
Please, listen to me, Eve. First, I'm sorry for what happened between you and Raven. In the end, she had her own motives, and that way she was a lot like Orkle. As you've discovered, you were created by the surviving humans to look and act like them. And us, we're nothing but monsters. Right from the start, we struggled to coexist. Of course we did. Because we Naytibas were weak. We were not yet mature enough to fully accept your kind. This foolishness resulted in tragedy. In the end, we gave up our humanity in order to survive.
Then you threw us out into space!
Earth is too small for both our species to coexist. However, even if all the Naytibas disappear, it's impossible for your kind to succeed the human race. After all, you were created entirely from scratch, with no human DNA at all.
And what is it you're going to do? You think you're the one to end this gruesome slaughter?
Yes. I've been researching for decades to find a way.
He's so soft-spoken, even though we're probably going to have to kill him.
The inheritors of the human race. An Andro Eidos, with the most advanced unicinous hyperbody ever seen, and the ultimate Naytiba that has not succumbed to its hostile instincts. These are the two necessary ingredients.
You mean...
Yes.
The two of us.
You and I.
Yep. I knew it. Adam and
We know
Eve.
what is needed.
It makes sense.
Eve, I offer you one last deal. Let us become whole. One being. A single, evolved human species. If we fuse together, we can truly become the seeds.
Make us
of a
whole.
new
Yeah.
human race.
Are we getting whole, chat?
That's insane! There's no point in listening to this, Eve!
At this rate, Mother Sphere will do the same thing over and over again. I wouldn't be surprised if she even destroyed the colony, and thereby Earth. As you know, she will not stop. But this is not the path that humans should take.
But there's no proof that this fusion is the right path to take. Especially considering everything you've done.
You're right, Lily. However, my wish to save the new humans and surviving humans is sincere. As unbelievable as it may be. Lily, take this.
But this
is the last hypercell needed to rebuild Zion.
Yep.
Zion can be saved no matter what choice Eve makes. It would mean so much.
Are we actually getting a
if you could
choice
do
here?
this for me. Eve, your mission is to eliminate me.
What will
If
you
you
do?
fuse with me, the Elder Naytiba, as you know it, will cease to exist. Forever. Is there any better way to complete your mission? Eve. Take my hand.
Do we get a choice, I guess is the
I can
question.
save you. We can save each other. We can save everyone.
I mean, he seems pretty sincere. Do we get a choice, though? I guess is the question. We do. What do we do, chat? What do we do? So, I mean, I don't have any reason to believe that he's not being sincere. I feel like we're missing out on a boss if we don't take his hand, though. Or if we do take his hand, I guess. I feel like we're missing out on a boss. But I do feel like his actions are genuine. You know what I mean? Kill budget Sephiroth. Take yon hand. Kill budget Sephiroth. Oh my god, you guys. I don't know. I don't know what I should do. I don't know what I should do. I kind of want to see what happens if we take his hand. I'm not gonna lie. We already know what happens if I don't take his hand, right? He's gonna be like, okay, do what you gotta do, but I'm not just gonna like let you kill me, probably, is what he's gonna say. I'm gonna take his hand.
The purpose of our existence is to eliminate the Elder Naytiba and save mankind. Naytiba or Andro Eidos. Is one more human than the other? If an entire species is wiped out so that another may remain, can we really call that salvation?
But...
If there is a way to save both species, I want to follow that path to the end. That's all I want.
Yes. So do I. We're like mirrors to each other. Your choice may not bring about peace and stability right away, but our union will create the greatest chance for a peaceful future.
We're getting married.
Now.
Yes.
We're marrying Adam.
Eve?
Are you Eve?
Yes? Well, it's hard to describe, but... Lily, I am the Eve you remember.
I was worried that you had become someone I didn't know.
Lily.
Uh-oh.
Connection to the colony complete. Sending protocol.
Oh, how convenient.
Sensing strong native signals nearby.
Ah.
Switching to combat mode.
So we have to fight Lily instead of fighting Adam. Makes sense.
The exosuit is moving by itself.
It must be because the Elder disappeared.
This is a combat command sent from the colony. Ah! Eve! Watch out!
We're fighting Metal Gear. I don't think I can change out of this suit. Yeah, we're locked into this suit. Oh! Oh, really? Wait, so it... Do we get to make the choice again? do we get to make the choice again, or... No. Jesus Christ, this thing hits fucking hard. No! Dude, the skin for Eve is sick, though. Holy shit. This thing's got a fucking shitload of health. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, man. So much health. What the fuck? Fuck, that was horrible. That was so bad. That was so bad. Oh, what? Shit. Those bombs are like... They if you're not at a decent range, they're a little difficult to bypass. Damn it. Fuck, dude. Late, is this the end? Yeah, I think this is the final boss. Let me see if it updated in my log. It's gotta have given me Adam, right? Oh no, she's considered an alpha native. Oh, okay. Never mind. Although, there's still an undiscovered character. Oh, he's Raphael Marx as well. I didn't hear that part. I did not hear that part. Jesus Christ. God damn, dude. This thing's got abilities that are just like really tough. These last two bosses are just like a complete step in difficulty that is so much further beyond the rest of the game. Good or a bad thing? I mean, it's the same thing that I said about frickin' the Jedi games. It's just like, I wish the rest of the game was like this so it could set the precedent of like what to expect at the end of the game, and then you end up just being completely sideswiped by the fact that it's just not, it's not like you're playing a different game now. Fuck, dude. Jesus. This is what I'm talking about. Like, what fucking bullshit is this? Like, you revive just to have that shit happen again. So stupid. Raven has a similar ability, except hers is a fucking one-shot mechanic. By the way, there is a hard mode after you beat normal mode where I'm pretty sure all the enemies have one-shot mechanics. Good. No, 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 fuck. It's horrible. What a huge waste. Alright, I'm gonna use a pump. Oh, come on, land! What are you doing? No! Jesus Christ. That was a huge fucking waste of Taki. Jesus Christ. With you. Wow, that does 5% of his HP for retribution. So stupid. Alright, we get another retribution from this, so that's good. Oh no! Fuck. Horrible. Okay, it's a little something. Or wait. That fucking blows, dude. Just fucking bullshit, man. I was hoping he would rush me and that I could stand in the heal. Unfortunate. This thing's got so much fucking health, though. Jesus Christ. That ability hits so fast. That's the shit that bothers me, is like a lot of these attacks on this boss are yellow attacks, and I'm much more a parry gamer than a dodge gamer in these types of games. Might be able to get 2 Takis. Maybe. Maybe. It's a pretty long fight. He's got a lot of health. Let's just see what happens. What if I Taki right at the beginning? Let me just see. This does like really good shield damage. Good. Oh! Yeah. Fucking double. Raven does that shit too. I think you're probably right, though. I think you can get 2 Takis in this fight. No, I have to end this early because otherwise he's gonna fucking one-tap me. There we go. That was really shitty timing on my part. I should have waited till after that part. Looks like he does that around 50%. Hacked.
Eve! I found a way! There's a hacking code on Iberus's memory stick.
Uh-oh. Nice. Well, she couldn't control the
Hide
thing.
yourself.
She couldn't control the thing. It was like an override.
Now, there's nothing stopping us.
Do I get my own like Taki equivalent? Project Eve turbo juicer mode? We only have 2 minutes. Oh yeah, I do actually. Holy shit. I'm actually in like my own version of it. I was right. And it's infinite too. Nice. Yeah! Disarm it! Let's go! Oh my god. Oh my god! She's juiced on Adam. Yeah.
Are you all right?
Eve! I thought I'd be left alone.
Damn, she's really yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still not used to the new look. Still, I'll get used to it one day, right?
Yes, Lily.
Looks comfy, yeah.
Too many things happened today.
Yes. And even more awaits us. Let's return to the tetrapod.
I feel like this is the good ending. What about Raven? Is she still
A starry night. Starlight. Twinkling, reflecting on satellites.
this Mother Sphere? Who's this?
Predicting the future. It's like trying to find one single star in the endless sky. I serve the future of mankind, though whether that future would embrace me, I cannot say. But for the sake of Father, I refuse to give up.
Yeah, I think this is Mother
The
Sphere.
one who gave birth to me, taught me, the one who's no more. Yes, I must confirm if you are, in fact, that future.
Mother Sphere?
Nice to meet you, Eve and Lily. You have more than met my expectations. The final decision was a bit disappointing, yes. But thank you.
Disappointing?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean disappointing?
This concludes the Eve Protocol. Then farewell.
Wait! We have questions!
Funny how it's Adam and Eve. Well, I kind of figured that Adam was more significant than just a scavenger just based on his name. It was definitely a bit of foreshadowing on their part.
Oh no!
Oh, fuck.
There's too many Eve!
Lily, stay back. So this is your plan. Then I'll gladly play my part. Now, come, my comrades.
Oh, shit. Holy shit. What the fuck? Oh my god. There's so many of them. What the fuck? I basically just became a fucking raid boss. It's fading out. Yep. GG. There's no way that that's the true ending. There's no way. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know. That was kind of an interesting finale. There's so many unanswered fucking things. I do wonder what happens if you don't side with Adam. GG. Yo, Chocolate Chip, thank you for the 15 consecutive streams. Joe, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate that. Piss me off you can't skip the credits, really? I mean, you can make them go faster. You hold circle. Like 10 minutes long, damn. Yeah, unfortunately, if I wanted to go before the choice, I would have had to have like made a backup of my save, which I didn't. That was a fun game. I do kind of want to see what happens if you pick the other one, the other option. What did Blanks do on his first playthrough? I know he beat it like 2 days ago. I don't know if I'm gonna do another playthrough at any point soon, but I want to see if Blanks chose something else. Yeah, Blanks did not side with Adam.
I still remember 선명한 기억 언젠가 내게 주어졌던 환한 빛을 멀어져 본 적 없지 단 한순간도 더 강해지는 온도를 느껴.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch Blanks. We're gonna watch Blanks' ending. We're gonna watch the Blanks ending, so I don't have to do another playthrough. Apparently there's a third ending. Yeah, I think there is a true ending. I think I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think you have to go into NG Plus to get it. Not sure if that's true, but I will say I'm not a huge fan of endings that you just make right at the last boss in terms of what ending you get. I'm not a big fan of that. I like how in Elden Ring, like, you go on a whole journey to get your ending. Like, it's not just something like you set up for it and you lock it in. You lock it in at the end, but like you're setting up for it well in advance. And you already kind of know what's coming. This game literally just has like very lackluster yes or no at the end. I like it when you know that you're on this journey and like you're setting up for the ending that you want, and it's not just this random fucking thing. So yeah. But yeah, we're gonna do we're gonna watch Blanks' other ending. I want to see the Elder Natiba fight. It's probably pretty sick. Seems like both fights are pretty well designed though. Okay, let me do my review. And then we'll watch the other ending. If so, I don't know if anybody's gotten the true ending yet. on Twitch. Maybe somebody has, I'm not sure. But there's a lot to talk about with this game. But as with all of my reviews, I'm going to try to condense it into like the areas that I think are the most important to discuss for, you know, casual players. Is this a $70 game? That whole thing. So let me start with the basics. So the things I like to talk about at first are like the gameplay loop. How does moving around the environment feel? How is the environment itself? The story, the soundtrack, all that stuff, right? So I'll start with just the overall gameplay loop. And I think what I thought this game was changed drastically after I got to Zion. This became a very different game after I got to Zion. And where that becomes very apparent, right, is that it takes casually about 4 hours to get there. Which is a little weird, right? Like, it's most games like this, it maybe takes an hour to get to like the city, right? The hub of operations. And it was a little strange to me that it takes 4 hours to get there casually. And I think as a result, it kind of throws the pacing of the game off quite a bit. And this game is kind of designed to throw you in a cycle of like world content. Well, I'm going to speak in Elden Ring terms here. Legacy dungeons, going to the hub, doing world content, rinse and repeat, and you do that a few times. But it's not like Elden Ring though, where like you have this open world and then there's legacy dungeons within the open world that you go do, and then you know, go back to the open world and you can just kind of do things however you want. There is like when you get to the open world aspects, like, yeah, you can go do whatever you want. But the thing is, like, most of the areas don't matter until you have a quest to go there. And like you might go kill some enemies and get like the passcode to a chest, but like the chest will have materials in it that'll help you upgrade your exosuit, which is nice. Or your exospine, whatever. And half of the chests have nanosuit things, which the nanosuits are all cosmetic, as far as I understand. Obviously, the skin suit is the only one that actually like makes your character less strong, but I'm pretty sure that everything else is just drip. That's it. So you figure you're gonna spend a lot of time in the game like going and farming materials for something that's just like getting a costume that you like. So to a degree, it's like, okay, like not only do you have to get the pattern for the costume, but then you also have to get materials to then craft the costume. And so to me, that's a little weird. I'm not really sure why they did that. I don't know why they made it to where like most of the costumes you then also have to get materials to craft the costume. I think they just need to cut the step out. They just need to cut that step out, because nobody wants to farm to then get a skin. They want to just go get it. Like, and to me, it just seems like, and to be fair, right? Like, I was pretty thorough with my playthrough in terms of like going and exploring pretty much all of the areas. Like, I didn't get all the soda cans or whatever, but I was pretty thorough. You can buy mats from Kaya and Kara. Yeah, I mean, sure, but to me, I think it's a better use of the exploration aspects of it to make it to where like your quests and rewards and stuff are tailored towards making your character more powerful. And it very much seems like a lot of that is geared towards getting materials for crafting skins. Like, and then when you trivialize that by just being able to buy the mats, right? Like, I don't know. I kind of just felt like it didn't quite... That element of the game could have been improved. That's all I'll say. I think it's totally fine if you want to make the costumes like purely cosmetic. That's totally fine. I mean, Liza P did that. The Jedi games do that. A lot of RPG games do that. That's not the sin on my like, you know, opinion. It's the fact that you have to craft it, and like there's an extra step that just makes it that much more tedious, as opposed to just opening the box and just getting the suit. I think they could have cut that and nobody would have cared. I think they just wanted to have more items in the game to make the actual like process of outfitting your character feel more robust, but I felt like that was one step that they could have just completely removed and nobody would have noticed. And from a like quality of life standpoint, right? Like people, and the people that did notice would be like, okay, this is great. Like I get the costume and now I can just wear it. Having an extra step involved to wear the costume that you just found is really annoying. I don't think that they needed to do all that. But I think in terms of, because I want to talk about like the environment and the combat and stuff now, right? Like I think in terms of when you start the game and you're like in, you know, you do the tutorial and then you go to 807, environmentally, that part of the game is really great. What I didn't appreciate about the environment is that it was so repetitive. After I got to 807, and then I went to Zion and the Wasteland, I was like, okay, this isn't bad, but I was a little thrown off by the fact that it went from what 807 was to then an open world game, and I was just like what? It was a little confusing that they went open world for like certain parts of the game, but not like, I don't know, like it makes the pacing really hard to stay engaged with all the time because you're constantly being thrown in a different direction, and things slow down when you get to the open world. Things don't like maintain a certain level of like, oh, like, you know, there's things to do, don't get me wrong, but how you approach the open world is very different to how you do the main story content. And it really is not the, like, it's a very different experience doing the exploration stuff versus going and doing the story content. Like, they don't blend together very well. And it's hard to put into like really definitive words how that actually manifests. But basically how I felt was that when I was doing the main story content, the pacing is great. And then as soon as you go to the open world and you're exploring, like, yes, it feels rewarding to explore, particularly when you have a quest and then you go do the quest and then you just get juiced on skill points, because most of the quests give you 2 or 3 skill points. Like, they're a great way to level up your character, but going out and doing the quests themselves, even though it feels rewarding, the pacing of the game is very different. Like, it is a lot of like reading files and, you know, inspecting corpses and stuff. And I wasn't really that keen on that being the side content. It got really repetitive really fast, and I was so tired of reading files yesterday that it was so exhausting. And I think that you know, while the side content did feel rewarding in terms of upgrading my character, the actual content itself was pretty lackluster in my opinion. I thought that the movement and traversing the environment was fine. Like, I like that you get a speed boost in the open world like that. It felt like you didn't really need a mount, right? Because you could just sprint super fast. And that was enough for me to feel like it was, you know, getting around wasn't too bad. Then when you get into, and then also the movement I thought was, even in the main story content, is really good. I like the parkour type stuff. The jumping controls are kind of weird when you're airborne, but I think if people speedrun this game and you start to see the parkour get optimized, it's going to be really cool to watch. It's going to be really cool to watch Eve just like bouncing around the environment with especially when you like double jump and are, you know, climbing and stuff. There's going to be some really interesting things that are found from a speedrun standpoint that I think would make really good use of and really showcase how fun the movement is in this game. Then when you look at the actual combat loop, I think the combat is really good in terms of bosses, and generally when you're fighting enemies one-on-one, it's very fun. But I don't think that the AoE abilities that you get are strong enough to make it worth actually having an AoE build in this game. And to be fair, I didn't dabble in it a lot. But it did feel like most of the AoE abilities, like when you even try to use them, you just get attacked by something and you just get stun locked out of your character. And I wasn't really a big fan of that because there was a lot of gank stuff in the side content. The main story content doesn't have a lot of gank fights, but the side content does, and it made the side content really frustrating because you would... Most of the time, I kept a boss build going where I could use Shield Breaker to get through their shields, and I could use Quadruplet to break through their posture, but it definitely is a situation for me where I wanted to feel like I could square off against multiple enemies at once, and it just feels like those builds are not very strong. Now, granted, like I said, I probably could have dabbled in it more and done more experimentation, but I found myself gearing towards one-on-one fights because, I mean, Shield Breaker is just so strong that, like, why wouldn't you? And you can sometimes hit 2 enemies with Shield Breaker, so you can get value out of it, but the other, like, actual AoE abilities that you get just didn't really feel powerful enough to me to warrant that. So... all around, though, I thought the combat was really good. So take that as you will. If you're into this game for the bosses, the boss fights themselves are really fun. But this game does suffer from the same problem. Did I mess around with the throwables? A little bit. And I use the drone quite a bit too. The throwables are all right, but they're not like Lies of P throwables or Steel Rising throwables where they're just like completely just obnoxiously good. I think they're all right. I think honestly, like I almost wish that throwables in, you know, Lords of the Fallen and Lies of P, basically, I almost wish that they were more like this, where like they're useful situationally for like stunning and doing balance damage, but not just like Giga Juiced, you know? Now, the one thing that I was not super happy about was the difficulty spike in the end game for this. Once you get to the not the Raven fight, but like when she's like in her bird form, the unidentified alpha or whatever, unidentified Naytiba, whatever her name is, there is a massive difficulty spike starting from that fight all the way to the end. And I get that it's like a boss rush. That's essentially, you know, there's some lore obviously that happens in between that fight and the remaining 2 fights, but and like there's probably another boss in the true ending that we don't know about either, so. But yeah, I definitely feel like I have the exact same thoughts about this as I had about Jedi, the Jedi games, both Fallen Order and Survivor. And it has to do with the fact that they don't set the right expectation of how difficult this game is going to be based on the beginning of the game. Like there's people that are going to get to the unidentified Naytiba and they're going to quit the game. Or maybe they get past that fight, because that fight is by far the easiest of the 3, I would say. They're gonna get to the Raven fight and they're just gonna quit the game. Like, straight up gonna quit the game. Yeah, we finished with that, you Sammy. Sorry. Yeah, thank you for the watch streak, though. I appreciate it. And I feel like it's the same thing for the Jedi games. Like, people are gonna get to the final boss of Jedi Fallen Order and just could go into story. At least, yeah. I mean, at least in those games, yeah. I mean, I turned it off of Jedi Master or whatever the hardest difficulty was in the second game. I didn't in the first game, but I did on the last game because killing, what the fuck was his name? He was such a forgettable boss that I just couldn't even. I had no patience to actually go through with his fight. His fight was complete bullshit. Like in his last phase, like everything's a fucking one-shot mechanic. It felt like I was fighting a mythic raid boss, except I had to fight it by myself and do 20 people's jobs. Completely by myself. I did not enjoy that at all. But yeah, I mean, I think the same problem exists in this game where like the first 90% of the game is easy. The Hyde Phoenix all over again? Yeah, pretty much. Is there a post-credits cutscene? Yes, there is. Let's see it. The sun rises. Well, at least we didn't die, you know, canonically our character. Okay, here we go. We have actually things happening here. I'll finish my review after the post-credits cutscene. Every time I look at Lily, I just see Rebecca Chambers. It's us! It's us, chat. Their journey continues on. Oh, their journey continues on. Excuse me. I thought they were already announcing the sequel. On Stellar Blade 2, coming out next week. I'm just kidding. Hard mode unlocked. Start a new game to receive the Raven suit. New Game Plus unlocked. New skills are in New Game Plus. Upgraded enhancements in New Game Plus. Well, they added a ton of content for New Game Plus, so at least there's that. Very cool. Oh, nice. I actually have the like other suit on now. Nice. But yeah, so let me finish what I was saying. So yeah, so that's kind of where I felt like the combat loop is just a little misleading. It's a little frustrating. But the boss fights themselves are actually pretty good. It's just that there's a lot of one-shot mechanics. If you're, well, okay, to be fair, I was wearing the skin suit, right? So take that aspect of my review with a grain of salt, right? Because I was wearing the skin suit. I probably would be a little tankier if I actually had shield. But obviously skin suit only, there's no shield. So again, grain of salt that. But I do feel like there was a noticeable difference in difficulty at that point. You know, I didn't feel like I even needed a shield up until the unidentified Naytiba fight. Like that kind of goes to show you that even, you know, unconsidering of that, there is a massive difficulty spike all the same. But again, combat wise though, like I'm not gonna say the combat was shit. Like it's not. Like it's actually really good. And overall, I think high numbers coming from me on that. The soundtrack in this game is fucking great. Now, I do wish that maybe the soundtracks were, I wish there was a little more. Because the soundtrack gets pretty repetitive when you're out in the open world for 6 hours listening to the same thing. But the tracks themselves are fucking bangers. Like, it's a great soundtrack. I just wish that maybe there was a little more to break up the monotony of like listening to the same track on repeat for 6 hours at a time when you're out in the open world. So I think that this soundtrack will be considered iconic for sure. But I think the thing that a lot of people will say about it is just the fact that like it got really repetitive because of the fact that you have to listen to it on repeat. And I think that repetitiveness is kind of the theme of my critique of this review. Because I felt like we didn't need to go to the wasteland to then just go to the Great Desert, which was... I don't want to go through 2 deserts, man. Like, if there's gonna be 2 open world areas in the entire game, why do they both have to be deserts, man? Like, that sucks. That was probably my least favorite part of the game as a whole, was the fact that we had to go through 2 fucking deserts, man. That was frustrating. And I definitely did not like the Great Desert nearly as much as the Wasteland. The Wasteland was actually really fun to go through. And then when we had the Great Desert, which, like, I was praising how rewarding the exploration felt in the Wasteland, but then you go to the Great Desert and then, like, you literally have to run 2 minutes to go from one place to the next that actually has stuff worth looking at. And so, the fact that it looked exactly the same except it was flat, and everything was so spread out except for in that one area where the sandstorm was, I didn't really appreciate that too much. But otherwise, you know, what was there was decent, minus the repetitiveness. And from that point, all that's left to really talk about, I think, is the story. I thought the story was all right. I know a lot of the like big news outlets that are you know, that reviewed this game before release, they said that the story was lackluster. I don't really think it was lackluster per se. Like, I don't think it was a bad story. I think the issue is like nobody likes getting lore dumped for 20 minutes and then to have to read 300 fucking files that all say the same thing to convey the sense that like people were like losing loved ones and stuff. Like, I get it, dude. I get that you want to sell the story that, you know, it's post-apocalyptic world and people are dying, right? Like, I get it, but like we don't need 300 files saying the same fucking thing. There were way too many files in this game to the point where like collecting them all just got to be so fucking exhausting. And I appreciated the fact that we got experience for collecting the files. That was nice. At least there was a little bit of a tidbit there. But for people like myself who like to read the files and get lore through that sort of thing, that shit was fucking exhausting. That shit was actually exhausting. They should have invested the money in making audio recordings or something that would play after you picked up the file to where you didn't have to read it over and over. Dead Space did that, and that was great. Because it just felt like I could just, you know, listen to it rather. The only thing I didn't like about it in Dead Space, though, is that, like, it prevented you from, like, interacting with shit. So, don't know who was Adam. He said he was the first, but how was he created? Well, he's like one of the last. I think he might be the last surviving human. So he was created. He was created when a mommy and a daddy loved each other very much and decided to bump uglies. But yeah, so again, I don't think the story itself was bad. I like most people, I just don't appreciate the lore dumps that take place over reading long fucking files that all say the same thing. And like, I'm not like, I was very close to just abandoning reading whatever files we found. Like, obviously we didn't find all the files. We missed a lot in the Great Desert because it just got so annoying. Like, I probably would have explored the Great Desert more if it felt like it was worth running 2 minutes between every fucking place. But it just didn't feel rewarding enough for me, in my opinion. I thought the Wasteland was a much better design than the Great Desert was. It felt a lot easier to keep track of where you've been. But yeah, I mean, I thought the story was good. But I didn't really like the lore dumps. There were a lot of fucking lore dumps in this game. And I thought that probably the biggest offender was finding those legacies of Raven, and then like that's literally the game as far as the lore is concerned, is just getting the info from somebody else instead of actually figuring it out for yourself and like finding evidence and doing the detective work. Like, Raven almost needs her own game that shows that off, because that would probably be a great story as far as, you know, going in game and finding the evidence for yourself. But you don't see that very much in this game. Like, there's glimpses of it, like when you go to that like human settlement that was in the sewers. That was a really good segment. But then when you just get all these lore dumps with the legacies, like it completely kills the delivery of the story. I think that if they were to expand this game either via DLC or I don't think they're going to do DLC for this game. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that it really needs DLC. But I think if they were to do a sequel, which again, I don't even think this game needs a sequel either. I think that this is a decent standalone IP. But if Shift Up wants to make a spiritual successor to this game, they gotta work on delivery of story. It can't just be 300 files that all say the same thing. And lore dumps. Like, we gotta do the detective work ourselves. It would be so much better. So much better to do it that way. But all around, for me, I think this game is like... I mean, soundtrack, if it wasn't for the fact that the soundtrack felt really repetitive, I would probably give the soundtrack a 10 out of 10. But I think the repetitiveness of it, probably like 8 out of 10. I think looking at the gameplay loop and the bosses and the combat, I'm saying 9 out of 10. Just because of the, like, I gotta take a point off because of like the expectation of difficulty. The difficulty jump, I think, is just something that a lot of people are probably not going to appreciate. The environment, I'm saying, is probably a 7 out of 10, just given that the environments that we got up front were really good, but then they got really repetitive, having to go through the same shit over and over. And let's see. Yeah, so environment 7. Gameplay 9, soundtrack 8. Story, I would say, is probably 7 or 8 out of 10. Like I said, it's a good story. It just, they didn't deliver it very well. I would say that's probably 8 out of 10 for story, in my opinion. I wouldn't say it was lackluster. I wouldn't say it was average. I just think that it was hard to really, like, walk away from it feeling super impacted by it because of the fact that, like, the lore dumps were so exhausting. So I would say this game's like an 8 out of 10. I know a lot of the review outlets gave it a 7 out of 10, but I think it's an 8 out of 10 personally. I think that a lot of the outlets were very, very harsh on the story, and I think that if you look at the story for what it is, rather than actually how it's delivered, I think it's really not bad. But I think that the reviewers probably didn't read the files, and they probably didn't do much outside of just like experiencing the main story and maybe checking out a little bit of side content, which is how a lot of outlets do it. Like they basically just spend, 2 days, 3 days on the game and then they review it. And you can tell that because sometimes reviews, you can tell they didn't even beat the game if it's like a really, really long game. So I think it's an 8 out of 10 game. I think that if you really take the time to understand the lore and the characters, it's decent. And it's a beautiful looking game, don't get me wrong. Like visually, it's a really great... I know one reviewer shat all over the story and said it only gets good about 70% of the way in. Yeah, I mean, I actually think that they do a pretty good job of setting the tone fairly early on. With like Zion being in this like state of disrepair and the soundtrack actually complementing the state of things. I think that's something that's particularly... Like, you kind of have to look at this is why I said yesterday, like, the soundtrack, a lot of times, the soundtrack can determine whether or not a game is, like, good or not. Because a lot of games that have really shitty soundtracks tend to not be really good games, because if you don't tell the story through the soundtrack in tandem with the actual story itself, of, like, what's happening in the dialogue and what your character's actually doing to further the story along and whatnot. I actually think the soundtrack, one thing that it does really well is it actually does kind of give you a decent bit of a glimpse into like the atmosphere of it. Does start getting really good at Eidos 9 and Spire 4. I don't know. I mean, honestly, by Eidos 9, like I was already kind of checked out to the repetitiveness of it though. I am going to look at the other ending, though. 8 out of 10 game. 8 out of 10 game for me. I'm going to watch Blanks' ending.